Non-Americans of Reddit, what are the positives of America that you see? You guys invest a lot in entertainment. The shows in my country suck. How accommodating many places are to disabled people, especially for people in wheelchairs. There are often ramps and large disabled parking spaces, not to mention that there is an entire amusement park for people in wheelchairs in San Antonio. Big living spaces. I live in Hong Kong and our average flat sizes are around 300 to 500 square feet. If you are in a flat that's over 1000 square feet, that's considered super luxurious. Cheaper housing for huge houses. We could get a villa in Florida for the same price as a semi-detached 3-bed house in UK. People are friendly if you're polite to them. Right turn on red lights. Optimism. TBH, I hate seeing American optimism in the works. I come from a culture that complains a lot and is quite cynical. When I first started studying in the US, it was always oft-putting and fake that people were so positive about so many things. But hey, it works. When me and my American friend crashed out of about 20 to 30 job interviews, I was the one crippled by depression and self-doubt, while he simply looked ahead, said there are tons of other good things out there anyway. I simply gave up, while he continued applying and planning. I think Americans have a very good attitude towards failure. I went to America in February, just before Corona became a real threat in Europe, and America and people there are really nice and talkative. Here you don't ask where tourists are from, or begin a conversation just randomly, while in a grocery store. Was a bit confused by you guys saying how are you, as a greeting though. I knew you did, but still it caught me off guard. Tiny electrical socket outlets, so that an adapter for 4 or 5 plugs doesn't take up almost the whole goddamn wall. Zip codes have only numbers, easier to remember than postal codes. All telephone numbers throughout the country have exactly the same number of digits. Hospitality and kindness. On my travels in America, I found the majority of Americans to be kind, keen to help, and lovely to spend time with. Obviously there will be some wankers. There are wankers everywhere, but I associate America with the cheerful, upbeat people who will smile and be pleased to meet a new person. You have a robust arts industry including movies, TV, video games, etc. Here in Australia our government routinely undermines our fledgling video games industry. Most of our TV shows lack any of the polish of yours, and with our movies, let's just say we literally tried to get people to pay to see a film version of a TV show that was cancelled due to lack of viewership on free TV. They make a lot of great music. I'm sort of a metalhead and my country don't have any rock bands. Air conditioning, and also lots of national parks. More than any other country I think. Safety in rural areas. Our dream is to buy a farm and live peacefully, but where I live, it's so dangerous it's unreal. When I see movies or programs about people living on ranches or farms in some town in the US, it look amazing. We could never edit. I live in a rural area in my country and hearing gunshots doesn't faze us, and house alarms go off every night and you're like, oh okay, as long as it's not ours. Not a fun way to live. Free refills at restaurants. Still amazed. Asterisk, you have some of the most stunningly beautiful nature in the world. Asterisk, living in a metropolis like New York or LA is insanely expensive, but it must be wonderful to have so many diverse activities, cuisines, and experiences at one's fingertips. Asterisk, you have some of the world's greatest museums and universities. The country has everything. You want mountains, you got it. You want forest, you got it. You want beaches, you got it. You want huge cities, you got it. In Europe, you have to go from country to country to achieve this. Also the food portions are huge. As an American who left 10 years ago because I was fed up with America shit, I can honestly say that it took me leaving America to see the good in it. One thing I have come to appreciate about the United States, even though it doesn't apply to me specifically, is that anyone can become an American. I've lived in a few different places in my time abroad, and no matter how fluent I get in language and culture, I'm eternally the foreigner. Especially here in Japan. The official word to refer to us is outsider. I could live here 30 years, naturalize, forsake my American citizenship, have a Japanese baby, and I would never be Japanese. But you, Japanese friend, can be American, as much of an American as I am. And I think that's really cool. This thread is restoring my pride in my country. Thanks for this, haha. My country never would have thought of replacing the bread in a KFC chicken sandwich with 2 pieces of chicken. Genius, keep them coming. I'm originally from the Middle East. I traveled and lived in few other countries, mainly in the Middle East and Asia, and finally I moved to California 8 years ago. Everything about America makes me thankful I moved here. The convenience of living, the weather, the entertainment, job opportunities, internet, freedom of speech, yes, freedom of religion, accessibility, technology, nature, restrooms anywhere, housing, freeways, traffic, airports, food, cars, prices, politics, dreams that can come true, air travel, diversity, and 1000 other small things and big things. What I hate the most is the attitude of some entitled Americans who do not know how blessed they are. Sometimes I wish I could go on CNN or ABC or Fox and just give a short speech on how beautiful this country is, even with all its problems, and scream at those ungrateful brats who can't be thankful for this amazing life they have. I'm from Chicago, but have a Hispanic household. Honestly, America is very free and outgoing. If you stop looking at the bad sides of America, there is a lot of cool and great stuff here. You have access to almost every possible climate and never have to leave the country. That you guys don't have tribal wars on sports events like big games. You even applaud the rivaling team when they had a good play. So how to behave watching sports, that is, sports culture is definitely something the rest of the world can learn from the U.S.A. and Canada. There is a very individualist philosophy, which is a good thing in many ways. That attitude of I do what I want, because I want to, and nobody can tell me what to do, or how to live my life. In a way, it is very freeing. Friendly people. I believe that, when you go outside, people are more likely to come toward you than another country. NASA. There's a lot of events in America. You guys have basically every event/convention that a Redditor could ask for. Optimism. Even with the ridiculous political situation, Americans are naturally optimistic. Also, America is about reinvention. The overall availability of services for people with special needs. You need to get everywhere in a wheelchair? ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, has you covered, as it is required that all public spaces be accessible to all. There are waivers for historic properties. You have a kid with processing, learning, emotional, or another disability that impacts their ability to do well in school. IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, has you covered and requires that they be given the level of services that there's an individual need to be able to learn successfully. For adults, there are group homes and other public services in place to help ensure individuals with disabilities can live life as independently and successfully as possible. The effectiveness of these services varies based on where you are, but overall the US ensures an amazing level of access and equity for people with disabilities. Holidaying in the US is always amazing, and the people are generally more friendly. You make the majority of the best movies and TV shows. Some sort of optimistic mindset, which I consider a very good trait. I'd rather have the Yanks as the world's most powerful military than China or Russia. All the Americans I've met are very friendly. The place itself has beautiful and diverse landscapes in one, albeit huge, country. Edit. I also want to add that I have a weird interest in American diners. I've never been to the US, but I'm intrigued from seeing them in films and would one day like to eat in one. Economy. I'm from Argentina. Had relatives come in from Norway and they thought highways with 3 lanes were huge. Then they saw a 6-lane highway. I love the innovation in America. SpaceX, for example, literally excites people around the world. Well, I'm in Scotland, so America's not freezing. Lived in the US for 1 year in the Midwest. I have to say Americans are very talkative, and they do like to socialize a lot. They love to get together a lot and meet up. There are lots of places to have fun and hang out, like arcades, bowling alleys, bars. It's just not something people really do where I live. The diversity is wonderful, both in the people, culture, food, architecture, and nature. Also, a European accent works wonders on American girls, haha. I will always appreciate that. You are allowed to publicly criticize your government and leader. The fact that high school and college sport is so organized. When I was younger, I honestly thought it was a made-up TV/movie thing. Then I got older and actually met a few Americans who all backed it. I was genuinely shocked. It would have been cool to have a sense of school/college spirit in sport. I definitely feel like I missed out on that. As an American who's so used to seeing my country, rightly, in most cases, shit on, it's really making me happy to see people talking about how friendly and hospitable we are here. It's just so heartwarming to see, and it's nice to know that despite the assholes in charge, plenty of us still have a good heart.